Fuck. Red Alerts never knows when it wants to show up, but when it does, it makes its presence known. I still forget to mute the actual notification. Just realized something. Alright, you didn't see that. Apologies in advance. I'm probably going to be coughing a lot. I hope I don't, because coughing sucks. Not that I don't do it all the time anyways, but... Yep, we're good. Hello, it is I and Skather, back for another stream. And today's gonna be a weird one. I tried to post something in the Discord because I had a couple of things that I was interested in doing. One of those being digging a hole. I'll get back to that in a sec. Another idea I had was wanting to do some math and do a math stream because I've wanted to do that before. I've done it once. And I thought it would just be fun for myself to just do all the way from, I was thinking high school level to college, but it being like the entry level, like what's 2 plus 3, and trying to find out how I would kind of explain it. So maybe one day we'll do that. For now, I wanted to do another stream. I've been thinking about this one for a few days now, where dig a hole and talk about real shit. Why do we talk about real shit? It's not something I haven't done, but kind of, how do I want to say it? Trying to break down a barrier. Kind of contradicts what I've said before about showing myself on here. Nonetheless, I still want to try it. Maybe mistake at the end of the day. It may be something I find enjoyable or tiring. But typically, I have more of a positive presence here. I know I'm not always positive. I don't think there is any one. Truth be told, that positivity is more what I want to show. And I'm gonna break that down today. I'm not gonna be positive per se. There are things I am truly positive about as a person. But try to be more truthful in who I am. I guess is the aspect of one. Is it gonna backfire? More than likely. As you can tell, I'm very hopeful. We're just gonna try it. I want to see how it just feels to even do something like that. Again, the main reason why I stream in the first place is for myself. Something I will only stream what I'm interested in. I'll only do what I'm interested in when I have the opportunity. So, dig a hole. I don't know if there'll be a way to... Oh shit, new game. Doing a new game. Sorry, I have a hole I dug. Nope. Or I just... So a true aspect of myself. Fucking do stupid shit all the time. This is one of them. There we go. New game. I've already beaten the game twice now. I've gotten all the achievements. I just want to dig up all the dirt. Sounds pretty fun. I have a golden shovel though. Hold on. Before we actually get serious. Here's the shit. I'm not gonna go at it, so in case you want to play it, you can still be surprised. Welcome to the game. I tried to post tags, but today's stream is going to be serious. Like seriously talking, seriously trying to express these kind of thoughts, these feelings on things. So if you're not into that, that's okay. You don't have to be. I don't want you to be. You just do you, and I'll do me. I might talk about the game a little bit, because that is just how I go. One of my greatest fascinations of life, just being able to ponder the mysteries of life. Yes, it's going to be one of those. Going to be one of those. When you dig a big enough hole, is it a hole anymore? Is it truly a space of which a structure has been formed or dug up? Or is it a new allocation? New space? Is a volcano a hole? If you dig a city straight down, make it miles wide, is it still a hole? What even constitutes a hole? And just those kinds of questions are interesting to me. Because it's very easy to say, oh, yeah, that goes down, right? It's a gap in the middle. That's a hole. There's no way around it, right? It has to be. But why does it have to be? We use definitions to as a solid basis or as a solid concrete proof of something? Or do we expand upon those limits and truly delve into the nature of what makes something something? I don't have prior experience with philosophy. I don't have any formal studies outside of psychology. I've taken a few psychology courses. I've explored the different options of human mind just through personal research and whatever interests me at the time. But that doesn't mean that we don't have the opportunity to freely think about it. You think you're stupid sometimes for the ideas you have? Of course. You wonder, why is this even a possible thought when it just feels so unnatural to think these kind of questioning what truth may be. I don't even know how to continue that, to be honest. One of the hardest things in life is to be able to keep an open mind. It's very easy to pick a side and select one of two arguments, maybe if there's more. Acclimate yourself to a notion which you believe to be correct, even with minimal evidence. I find that interesting. Fascinating that we're willing to put our foot down immediately on something that interests us or that convinces us from the start. Welcome in, Gamby. You're not seeing lava yet? We'll see it eventually. Today's serious shit though, so you've been warned. I'm a man that has lost his mind. His marbles. We delve into the deepness of I feel like it does take a while to train yourself to be able to become more free-minded or to be more open-minded. I still am not of that aspect myself. I still have ways to go. But it also becomes a lot more fun. Because you start to see these different possibilities, these different perspectives. Even if you can't personally see them yourself. Different aspects that you would have never imagined or been able to explore. Some more dangerous than others, but this is a way to truly think and express your curiosity. I think that's a wonderful thing. It's kind of weird too. The kind of person I'll usually like I showered right before this, and shower thoughts. I used to not think about the subreddit before, but it's just like shower thoughts on things or just different kind of ideas pop in your mind in the shower. But there's a subreddit r/shower thoughts. People think of the weirdest shit. It's just completely random. And that's where my like philosophy-esque questions come to mind usually. Or if I'm making dinner or something, I get like inspiration I want to think. It's kind of comes. It's like, huh. Oh, shit. That was an easy $2. I decided to, I'm gonna switch to that screen myself here in a sec, but I decided to look up some questions in case I do get stuck, which I've already gotten stuck. It only took, what? 14 minutes to get stuck. I was like, wait, what do we talk about now? Let's switch to those. I looked at a couple of lists. I was like, these are pretty interesting thoughts. Topics. One of them is like, if you were a pizza topping, what topping would you be? What kind of philosophy question is that? I get the nuance that I can delve into a deeper meaning, but this felt kind of silly for me. Have a good after lunch portion, Gamby. Yeah, back to work. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Is it the music? Is the music putting you to sleep? Welcome in Arts Center. I'm doing all right. I'm just kind of delving into real shit. Hopefully, how you doing? Boom. Questions? Anyone new popping in? Serious topics, but make sure you read the rules. One thing I was thinking about earlier is the aspect I'll mention here in a sec. I play an assortment of games. Last time I was streaming some code. I was trying to code connect stuff for fun, which I will get back to eventually. I never got back to it when I wanted to fix something. I like to dabble here and there in games. My biggest game right now is Marvel. Yeah. The presence of good and bad. Something I was thinking about. And it's a difficult topic to really think about. I'll ask this. What games do you like, Hearts? Any favorites? Play Counter-Strike? That's a classic. I haven't played much in the recent years. Especially when they came out with Counter-Strike 2. I had a friend that played it a couple of times, but it just wasn't for me. I like the gun game though. I miss gun game. What do you think about the thing coming to Marvel Rivals? I can't make that a philosophy topic, but we'll talk about it anyways. I feel like... So I watched the two trailers, and... I watched the Thing's trailer first. I thought he was very overpowered. Because they do that to you. They immediately get you as like, yeah, this is going to be like how powerful the person's going to be. They're going to dominate and everything. The Thing, I really was most surprised by his AoE when he charges in and he just like explodes and deals damage to all the structures. I don't know how much damage that's going to be for, but that's what I'm most excited about his kit. I can't remember anything else other than the charge. And oh, the Wolverine team up I thought was pretty interesting. So now both Hulk and the Thing can carry and throw Wolverine. Like logo banner overlay? Wait, what's that? But I saw the Things, or sorry, I saw, am I blanking on his name? Playmon guy? Human Torch. So I saw Human Torch, and I thought he looked very overpowered. DPS, of course, he's going to be very strong. But it's like Storm, but a million times better. Like, the aspect of being able to combine the Flame and Storm's Tornado scares me. He seems ridiculously overpowered. So I'm excited to see how he goes in. Plus, I love the animation where he throws, and it looks like he's just like, it's not just a simple truck, but he's actually putting all his power into his throws. I love that aspect. Oh, I didn't read the first part. Bro, I do custom artwork? Great for you. I don't care. Like, it's cool that you do art, but I don't care to... Unless you're not trying to sell me your art. Usually people with those kind of lines will say, I'm trying to sell you my art. I frankly don't care. I don't care to look at art during my stream. I'm pretty sure this is a guy trying to get... Yeah. And then you don't like Human Torch. He feels like... The interesting part of his kit, it looks like he has a perimeter he can set up and put walls onto. So if you can use that to trap your enemies, I'm not sure how much damage is gonna really come off of that though. If it's high damage, you can wall off your enemies, that's too broken. I feel like that's gonna be overwhelmingly broken. But I'm also interested in seeing how he plays with everyone being rebound. I feel like Groot, for example, he's pretty strong. So he's part of the main meta right now, which I'm surprised to see him as part of that now. But I've seen him a lot more, especially in ranked play. His walls are just so annoying. They're so useful. To the point where I'm even tempted to play him again. But I've been slowly playing him again, but yeah, just with the rebalances on everything, I want to see how everything just becomes put together one way or another. I'm not excited about the Iron Man change. He's more independent. I feel like Johnny will be good against Groot just because, haha, fire versus wood. That's actually good. I like that. Excuse me for one moment. I got an incoming call. Sorry about that. I got an important phone call. Shall talk about for a quick sec. Let me catch up on chat, but I would look up, yeah, there's quite a few different changes it can be. Like, for instance, Groot's wall can be placed at 18 meters away instead of 15 meters. So, it's a lot more powerful. Lilac was left unchanged. Everything is okay. Copium. Welcome in, Zenio. How's it going, my dude? I'm gonna be fake with you. I know this game. Oh, shit. I'm more serious today. I do have good news, though. So the call I just got was from the job I applied for. And I had the first interview for last week. Which I've been thinking about, because it's been about a week now. And I'm just sharing this because I shared with the first step with you guys. I got a second interview. So good, man. Feels very good. I feel very lucky. So that's what that was about. Should be in the upcoming future. I get to meet the team and everything. Like right now, yeah, I'm just kind of overwhelmed by that. Wait, in the game itself, I don't remember all the different changes. I know the healers got debuffed on average. I think Storm got a better buff. Spider-Man did get buffed. Spider-Man has the quicker recharge time on his webs. Iron Man is still formidable because he's less reliant on Hulk. He's more independent. So his beam does more damage. His the gamma pair up though does less damage. So it kind of evens out. That's something I'm not going to look forward to, though. Hopefully people will be able to focus more, including myself, on the Iron Man. So yeah, I'm partially not excited about the balances. I am, though. I want to see how the game changes. Oh yeah, only a matter of time before we get to see it. That's on the 21st. I'm excited about the new map, though, which is a continuation of the same theme. I'm trying to remember what the name of the theme was. Like, Dracula's Castle. From, it wasn't Magneto, was it? Wolverine? No, he was the last step of the Battle Pass. Yeah, going back to the serious shit we talk about today. An aspect I was thinking about prior, or that kind of interests me, is the concept of good and evil. We immediately think of an action or a belief, and we just tell ourselves, oh, that's good. That's actually pretty bad. But we never really think about why that might be. Some things are quickly adapted from prior experience, right? And we latch onto that to immediately form the perspective we want, need, or... I'm kind of saying that in a weirdly awkward way, but... I think I lost a lot of drive with that call. No, the aspect of Gambi being evil, for example. I thought you were a little shit, Gambi. Nah. No, the aspect of I'm fumbling over my own words. I can't. It's kind of like how we put a label on everything. Like, let's say foods. Fruits and vegetables, of course, are good for you. They're good. They taste bad for some people, especially like when we're kids. We have different trying to think what you did evil, Gamby. You are a bit evil, mischievously. Then we also think of junk food, which is, it's good, but not good for you. Has a lot of different fats, has a lot of lack of minerals, proteins. It'll just shit itself there. Yeah, you still eat it. People don't want to eat vegetables, but they'll eat junk food all day. Exactly. Can't believe Gamby has turned into a hamburger. Actually, not kidding. My PC is kind of shitting itself. Like it's possessed. Do shovel. There's bias towards good and bad. Yeah, those bias are, again, based on our own beliefs, on our own experiences, on our own kind of way of life. Is there truly such thing as good or bad? But in evil? Or is that just a concept that we've created on our own? Dang, that's on the first scene, yeah. And again, this kind of makes you feel like, oh, I feel stupid for thinking this, because it's very straightforward. There's good, there's evil. People do good things, people do bad things. Why do we even question that, right? Morality is an interesting concept in itself. If things are inherently good or bad, why do people have different senses of good and or bad? Why do we have different criteria for good and bad? It's unique to the person at the end of the day. Always first. Who created the concept of good and evil? Exactly. Because you immediately think, for example, like religious, like this is just in history, but religious contexts have different criteria of good and bad. You have just different regions of the world. Asian, European, and predominant African that have different concepts of good and bad. And the spirits within ourselves, within something that's not perceivable, at least not in a normal sense, we consider to be good and bad. We punish on the actions which impose on others. Reward those who try to do their best to achieve something. That is through the concept of time that we want to do. Again, on what basis? I find that to be, I don't know why I find it to be so interesting to think about. Not wanting to talk about today's events, and that's not going to be the purpose of this, but the vice versa of that, the change around of that. People are being rewarded for bad things, and they're being punished for good, for things that we would inherently consider the opposite direction of the two. Why is that? Do we have shifted values? Is it different communities or different cultural aspects that impose a different viewpoint? Why? What has influenced those kinds of thoughts, those different kinds of approaches? Because you would think, oh yeah, there's no reason why this shouldn't be good. Let's take a classic conundrum. Robbing a bank so that you can get money, or robbing a store, robbing something. We immediately see that as a bad thing, right? Some person's taking advantage of another to get what they want. I believe there's some concept that almost everyone agrees that is good or bad, and there's something on gray area of good and bad. And I think that's a fair perspective, Xenia. There is a consensus, there is a collective consensus on what is good or bad. An aspect of that, going back to the example, this would be a gray area. I think this is a good gray area example. You wonder to yourself, why are they robbing the store? Why are they robbing the facility? What are they trying to achieve out of it? Is want to buy something that they can enjoy for themselves? Like, are they just trying to get money so they can spend it on like fancy electronic, or for power? Are they wanting to get drugs? Are they trying to survive another day by eating food? What are they stealing this, specifically? And for what purpose? It makes it so drastic. It makes it so different. Another perspective is on the store itself. Is there a reason why the store would be robbed? Or is there a reason why it would be targeted? Is it planned? Is it... Did it do something? Did the company itself do something to the people? I'm only scratching out a surface, or at least maybe a few surface questions, but perspective changes a lot of things. Who does it benefit? Who does it hurt? Who does it affect? And yet we're still so quick to choose a side on the basis of the title alone. It's bad that they did this to other people. Bad that they've taken from someone else that didn't deserve it. While at the same time, that person has been struggling and needs the support. They need the help. Is there supposed to be an in-between for that? Is there supposed to be a neutrality to that? It's a matter of fact that something was stolen? I'm probably going to be a broken record. These thoughts make me feel stupid. Make me feel stupid and stupid. Stupider, stupider. It's as if common sense has left the playing field. That's the beauty of just freely thinking, of keeping an open mind. You are going to be stupid. At least you're going to feel like it. That's okay. Because you get a chance to explore different ideas, these different things that just feel so unnatural. I don't know why I'm going back. Guess we take the opportunity. So, just on the sense of morality, why do we have these different kind of concepts or thoughts for good and bad? Is it right to have one over the other? Thank you for the hydrate and stretch. Weirdly enough, my arm feels tired after doing it. I don't know why. Who is there to dictate whether or not something is inherently bad or good? Is there one like selector overall? Is there a group that decides everything for us? Or is it something that can only be constructed shared community? Small group. Be a larger group. Old yeah. Getting old. I feel like at times, because I have these kind of thoughts I play around with where I kind of just hop on. A guy my age should not be thinking these kind of things all the time. At least frequently. But I find it fun. Or at least insightful. Challenging. Way to deceive. Deceive's not the right word. Way to, I guess we'll go back to the word challenge. Challenge the norm. I think it's usually comes from the norm / community. Yeah. Which the straightforward on that is, or at least history has taught us, right? That's how things are constructed, how they're formed, they're held to standard, is through normality in the community. But why do we allow that to be the consensus? Why do we form? Right? We've had people who have rebelled against those thoughts, those ideals. Logic that has been presented from one group to another. Back onto the basis of good and bad. We always follow the notion of good and bad in our decisions. The ideals of punishment, the ideals of for what benefit, for what needs to be challenged. Why this not Marvel Rivals rank stream? Welcome in, Nagi. It's because we're serious today. We're getting real today. I'm philosophical. Which I remember I used to being called stupid for me, so ain't anything new today. Real talk, I'm kind of tired of Marvel Rivals ranked right now. I think I find the most fun out of just fucking around in quick play, taking it not serious. Even if I do that in ranked, there's still a notion of having to just pop off, and if you make one small mistake, then you don't listen to people, because I find majority of the base to be. It's still tiring in itself. I'll get back to it probably when the update rolls around, though. Usually people who break those norms get punished right. Not punished right. And that's kind of the interesting aspect of history. Because the notion of right itself is good. Or it's the good and bad. Like morally speaking, is it right to punish those who have committed some sort of unjust doing? Is it right to reward those that support greater being? Which I feel like that can't really be argued, can it? It can be, sure, but it's more normal to consider that, yeah, punish the bad deeds or the good deeds. And that's more of a behavioral approach, at least within social upbringing. I'm so hot. I don't really do that. I'll still do it for you, though. I stopped being real for a quick second there. But the feeling is real. I don't understand what I really said there myself, to be honest. Because, yeah, it is normal. I guess as long as you conform to a set standard of rules, whatever those rules are implemented, doesn't matter if they're greater or worse for the community, for the society in which they're enforced in. Just about conforming to those rules. And history has shown how people have challenged those rules, how people try to go against those rules. Some of them, are they just to go against? Are they fine to challenge? Or is it righteous that they got the punishments that were essentially given because of that challenge? When is it fine to challenge those rules, right? Is it ever fine to do that? Thank you for the hydrating. The stand and stretch. Just wanted to see that little bit of skin on my tummy. Don't. Not this time. Last time I got up, I noticed is like my up a bit, so you got to see edge that line. I was like, oh shit. Be low enough. The basis of good and bad itself is pretty interesting. For the full aspect of considering what is practical for the society, what works best for society, who is allowed to determine what is best for society, and I don't really think about the consequence either. As important as consequence is, I feel that's more of an enactment. Like, of course it's important to consider the consequences of actions, right? Again, we'll go back to the robbing a store. What are the consequences of robbing a store? Depends on the society, right? For example, in the United States, you might go to jail for it. You might have to pay a fine. In the past, I don't have basis to back this up, but some people would challenge it with murder. Or with, not murder, but execution. Or cutting off a limb? I remember that's one of the societies that did that. Valuation is always going to happen, and that can change the old norm into the new one. As part of the evolution of the human species. That is one of the aspects of it. Valuation, reevaluation, consideration of the aspects of changing. I don't have much more to say on that. I'm like, I could take that further, but I've actually blank on that one. I'm gonna get captured, that's for sure. Maybe. That's not something I want to talk on stream, but that is a real possibility one day. Anything can happen in a lifetime. Even the most surprising of things can happen. That's even too depressing for me to think about. This is an interesting question. Can humans change their behavior if given enough time? And the first thing I immediately think with that, what does enough time mean? Not even a notion of what humans captures. Let me reread the question. Humans. That's with an S. I also like to think about the individual human compared to the full scope of humans. Can we as humans change given enough time? It's such a simple question, yet there's so many layers to it. What about ourselves are we changing? Do we change how we live our daily lives? Is it just that simple? Or what about our lives do we change? Do we change our mannerisms towards one another? Do we change our values? Such a deep question. Our morals, our morality of how we act towards one another, kind of given with the good and bad. Oh, fall damage. We're actually high enough. And just based on those aspects, is that even enough to consider whether or not humans themselves can change? It's very evident how much we have evolved. Compare ourselves to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, etc. We didn't have all this. We didn't have computers. We didn't have this level of interaction with one another. It's so easy to connect with another person. It doesn't have to be a deep connection. It can still be surface level. But being able to perceive someone else in real time that you can interact with, streaming is a very straightforward, but someone you can talk to on a forum, or maybe you chat with, call someone, you plan to do something, meet up, because it's very easy to do so today. Compared to 10 years ago, where it was still easy, but had its own limitations. It was still experimental. You can email people, you can text people, you can call people. Streaming wasn't much. Well, I guess 10 years ago, it still was pretty popular. Streaming got pretty popular. But if we even go 10 years further back, that's TV. That's watching something that's pre-recorded or live, which you could not interact with directly. If we take it even further back, let's say 30 years ago, then you're still on the notion of text messages are emerging. Calling is still commonplace. Emails, not so much, but it's getting there. Rather, I think it's even just starting out. Emails didn't really take off. They were first discovered, I think, in the 60s, if I recall. Between the 60s and the 80s. But they didn't really establish themselves until starting in the 90s. It wasn't as commonplace. Then you take it further back, and text messages weren't a thing. Pagers were kind of a way to go there. It was a bit more experimental. Cell phones were, I guess, getting stronger or being more used. And there's a clear difference by that aspect, or by that point. It's a lot easier to call. Well, I'm not even going to say call. To talk with someone in your community than it is to find someone random and speak with them. So, of course, the level of international, global rather, we'll even just go directly to global. Global interactment is almost minimal, unless you plan things accordingly, unless you take the chance to randomly bump into someone in person. It'd be very difficult to find someone in the real world. So that level of change is, I think, very interesting because it's been so fast these last 30 years, let alone 50 years, of how we as humans evolved. Now, does that really change us? I find that to be a difficult question. In terms of morality, I want to lean towards no. But the diversity of people, of humans, and the morality makes it just that much more difficult to answer. I guess it could be a lot better simplified or summarized to we still hold a notion of the original morality in which we've evolved from into more common themes or into more common spaces. People will choose to do good things for others, for themselves. People will choose to do bad things for others and for themselves. Depending on what they benefit from it or what they can achieve from it, consequence and the effort worth into putting themselves into that position to do that actions. And that's the main basis that gives me the idea that people do not change. Individuals can, of course, change. Is it guaranteed that an individual will change? No. Even if they want to change and they try to change? No. There's always a chance that some people will never change, despite what effort or conscious effort they put into it. Yet there is always a chance for someone to change whether or not they decide to or try to. I will admit one thing, and it kind of goes back to the Marvel Rivals. I have changed a little bit myself recently. And I won't say in the aspect of I've become different, but rather I'm showing a different side to myself a bit more frequently. I feel like I've become a bit more toxic in these last months. It's something I'm not comfortable with at the same time. Found our first rock. Yeah, just the notion of not wanting to change intentionally, but still being able to change. Very possible. I'm getting distracted. That is a huge rock. It is to say, though, that if you want to put in effort to change, more than definitely possible. I can't guarantee, though, that you will change. I can't be confident that you will change. I will not expect you to change. Frankly, that just comes from personal experiences. Where I did say before, being positive, I do that a lot on stream, but not that positive of a person in real life. This is a huge rock. I used to think that if you were to uncover it fully and get rid of all the dirt, you could pull it out. But no, it's just there to be a menace. It's kind of sad. It'd be fun to take those. Be very fun to take them. Let me check one thing. Video music's different than usual, so I wanted to make sure that I looped it. I was smart enough. Yay. What aspects of a person can change? And does it become easier or harder to change some aspects of yourself? Music got loud. See music. Let's say, I'll use a real example for this. I started going to the gym in October. Because I first had the means to go to, and then I wanted to at least work on my health a bit. And people will do that. They will get into it. They'll be able to work out and kind of get into the habit of it. Get a lot better. For me, though, now, I've done this plenty of times in the past, since high school. Gone to the gym, stopped going after a little while, tried again, stopped going after a while, and unfortunately, I gave up. Gave up last month. It's sad, because I want to go to the gym, I want to work out, I want to get stronger. I feel very limited doing so right now. I feel extremely limited in just in my real world aspects. I want to have a home gym. It'd be very nice. I'd make it a lot easier. Frankly speaking, though, your environment does change. It can change you as a person. That could be an influence. But going back to the point, or rather to the example, not everyone's going to quit, and people will power through it. People have the discipline. People have the what it takes to be able to and tough it out. Do what they need to do. Some people may not have it at that time. They might need some more motivation. They might need different circumstances in their life. They just might need something else that can help them better. And frankly, some people just never will get there. People will not be able to do it. People won't have what it takes. That's just reality. They try and they try as much as they can. In the end, they'll just only fail. They'll just continuously fail. Can I say that's a bad way to go, though? Is that bad that you keep on failing? Not necessarily. Like, the positive aspect of myself says you're putting effort into it. You're trying your best. And even if you do fail, you still try to get there. Is it a waste of time at the end of the day? That's for the individual to decide. I like to say no, but that's not my decision to make either. Not for them, at least. For me, I think it's worth it. Get to show that you're willing to try, you're willing to overcome challenges and difficulties in life. Try to improve your own life. I'll probably try again in the future. Maybe even the near future if I decide to. That's just a testament of time, though. And one thing to kind of challenge, though, going back to the original question of whether or not humans can change. Is it possible that one day we might change? One of our generations down the line will have it all figured out and be able to continuously change everything. Change the way that we all act, that we our morality, aspects of how we treat one another. The way I answer that realistically, how optimistic are you? That will lie down on that basis. At least if you're a clear direction of one or the other, it's much easier to answer. Rather than being on the fence between both or being a mixture of both optimistic and pessimistic. That also feels like a boring answer. I'm just losing my marbles every time I keep on opening my mouth. My fucking mind. But where are the real me? Like I asked in the beginning, and I'll probably ask once more. Do I regret doing this? Will I regret doing this? So far, no. Maybe later, yes. But this is my insanity, in a sense. We're all insane to some point, right? At least so. We all reside a little madness within our... We all have an aspect which we can't challenge, we can't follow or bear to notice without the everlasting consequence. The world's not fair. I think that itself is pretty obvious. Maybe not as obvious when you first start life. Maybe you haven't had much of a chance to be exposed to that reality. But the world is evidently not fair. Is it fair for you? Maybe. Maybe not. That still could be a difficult question depending on who you ask. You kind of think of the world being difficult being, has it thrown punches at you? Has it held back at all? Have you been fucked over by life? Have you been fucked over by where you started with life? Where you've gotten to in your opportunities, your chances to really explore yourself, to explore just the whole notion of life. Does being born in a certain location change that? Does being born to a certain portion or to a certain society, community change that? Are you just one of the select few that's much different from the others? Or does everyone around you have a similar fate to you. You have to work towards what you need to achieve to succeed? Or is it much more effort that you have to put in compared to the average person? You just average? Thoughts kind of pile up a little. They keep on piling and piling up. There's different aspects which change. I honestly kind of forgot what I was thinking. But, oh, the notion of being fair. The notion of the fair world. Or rather, the world being fair to everyone. If we could make the world fair for everyone, first of all, would you do it? I feel like that one's a no-brainer, right? Everyone gets the chance to succeed. Everyone gets a chance to live life in that they can. Life or whatever may work best for them. But some people won't agree, even to that extent. Why should everyone get a fair chance when I had to work hard? Why should everyone get the same opportunity when it was only meant for the select few? We need people to suffer. We need people to be at that lower level. What some people may even refer to, may even say. Crazy, right? Why do we think it's crazy? I personally think it's crazy. Why not give everyone a fair chance? Why not have everyone take the opportunity to succeed? Even people will challenge it at that base question. Would you allow a world in which everyone had a fair chance? Now let's switch up the question a little bit. Would you allow the world a fair chance? Meaning that you no longer have that chance yourself. Originally, think to yourself, I get the same opportunity as everyone else. Everyone has the same opportunity. No brainer, right? Even if it's a competitive market, even if it's a competitive field. Why shouldn't everyone be able to succeed? Now, you're not allowed to succeed. Everyone else around you has the same opportunity to succeed. Yet, you no longer do. Would you do it? Would you make that world? I can't decide, truthfully. What purpose is serving the greater good if it's designed to instead destroy the opportunity of at least one? But it also goes on the basis. If the world was designed to be fair for everyone except one person, someone you may not even know, would you take it? Would you take that world? It doesn't affect you. If you don't know the person, it has no relationship to you. You're not even going to know about it. If it's related to you, what is their relationship to you? Are they friends? Are they just someone you saw on the street? Is it a family member or someone you love? Like a moral dilemma. Kind of like the trolley problem. Let a train continue its track. Kill 5 random people from which you may or may not know. Or purposely choose to switch the handle to kill one person that you know very well. Rather, is very integrated with you. Someone that you may value the most. I feel like it kind of comes across to the point of self-sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice? Or what benefit would you sacrifice for? I think this really interests me more, given that, again, TMI stuff, have fun. I used to be a people pleaser. I still have some of those qualities within me to this day that I try to challenge, but I used to be the type of person that would want to make sure that everyone satisfied. The point where I would even sometimes neglect my own happiness, my own satisfaction to ensure that everyone else satisfied, happy. So that kind of question hits home. Yet, interestingly enough, even though I know better, I still ponder whether or not it's worth the self-sacrifice. If it's worth sacrificing one person for the greater of good, for the greater of humanity. If we add more and more people onto that platter, now we say half of people will succeed, half of people will fail. Does it become easier to answer that question? You determine whether or not, no one's really succeeding, no one's really failing. There's no guarantee. Where? Sorry, my brain actually got mixed up there. You have a 1 in 2 chance. Alright, yeah, 1 in 2 chance of succeeding, or equal chance to fail. You don't get the same opportunity, you don't get the same fair treatment. Just done. This is on the basis again. Just where you start out in life, where you're born, where your opportunities are available to you, what they can do for you to succeed in life, be able to live a long and prosperous life, whatever kind of life you want to live. Or you fail, you don't get to live the life you want to. You instead have to settle for some aspect of life. You won't be happy. May not be happy, rather. Still might find happiness in that. You may not get everything you wanted, or rather a lot of what you wanted, but you will make do. And make do. Maybe you might fail by not being able to survive. You might not be able to eat, drink, safely sleep, just exist. there is one thing that comes back from that problem. We're talking about sacrifice to guaranteeing whether or not someone has a successful life, or if they have a fair chance, I should say. Fair chance at a successful life. But what are we comparing that to? What kind of comparison are we making when we ponder these questions? Again, the world's not fair. Why is it not fair? Observation and statistics tell us that more people, especially, and not going to get political here or anything of that, see, but people just don't have the assets to be able to survive comfortably, at least even survive, period. You have people that are homeless. You have people that are barely paying rent, that are due on rent, or just don't have shelter. They don't have food. Can't afford it. They can't find it. They can't. Other people just have no problem with that. Some people just stand there. They don't have a fuck in the world. They don't have to. They don't have to worry about anything because they have everything set up for them. Maybe they've gotten to a point where they succeeded. Don't have to worry about that. Life. How do we compare that to our real world? I don't know. I don't look at statistics, to be honest. I don't, it's not often, frequently. I don't have the full sense of where everyone is. I just know there's different classes, depending on the society that you partake in. There's definitely a difference. If we achieve these same levels of success and failure, rather just the same notion of the opportunity for success, will we end up in a similar world? It'd be different. I should say some of these thoughts are not fun to think about. Regardless of them being very insightful, of them interesting to an aspect, they also get very serious, and it's like, why? Yep. I still find it interesting enough to think about. Again, I feel like an idiot for it, because they're pretty straightforward. Who wouldn't want an opportunity to succeed? What purpose do I have in making sure that someone else fails to succeed? Is it a competition where I want to win so that they lose for me to win? Or would I be willing to lose so that they can win? Would I purposely lose? Would I give a fair fight? What are the consequences of winning and losing? Again, the questions keep on piling up further and further. Depending on your circumstances, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot to consider. You can't just simply neglect. Thanks for the hydrate, Gamby. This would be the moment where I say, damn, shit's getting real right now, but that's kind of the point. That is kind of the point. It is supposed to get real. Rather, I won't set an expectation for it. But once it happens, it happens. Which is kind of ironic to the point where streaming, especially for this kind of audience, for this kind of platform or community, which you guys come from, you don't really see this kind of stuff. You don't really have to think about this here. Kind of like an escape from those serious kind of topics. But I won't necessarily apologize for that. It's understandable that why do we have to listen to this kind of thing? Huh? Why be exposed to these kind of real things? I have to say, this is like the only time I want to do this. The only stream I want to do this. Then again, I enjoy it. I don't know whether or not I enjoy it fully on stream. Interesting. And it's satisfying to try something like this. It feels too exposing, though. It feels kind of like revealing an aspect to yourself which has already been considered, but in a brand new light. I don't know how to feel about that. Interesting. Interesting is my key word. It's a good word. It's a straightforward word. What I'm doing right now may not be bad, may not be good. I find it to be neutral. It's a combination of different aspects. Again, I'm bringing the real aspect to somewhere I choose to avoid it at least this level. But it's also interest that I wish to pursue, at least to discuss. I don't know. It has its pros and cons, but this ain't gonna be normal. I do like that notion, though, and this is just a general thing. Being able to try something new, making it feel so kind of awkward, weird, because it's not the normality. It's not the norm. I like that aspect. I like when that could be a challenge. Is it always going to benefit everyone? No. In some cases, it's actually going to be a detrimental effect. Hence the risk of even doing this in the first place. However, it's still, I think, worthwhile to try. It's still worthwhile to at least see how it goes. Some things in life, it's not worth debating whether or not something will work in the end. If the risk is too much to really challenge, or you think it's actually going to be detrimental in the end, then you have to really consider whether or not you want to take that risk in the first place. Going back to the notion of sacrifice, I know that is more so for the greater good, but for your own greater good, well, we kind of talked about that a bit. What would you be willing to sacrifice for yourself to succeed? It becomes even more messed up, in my opinion. Who are you willing to sacrifice for yourself to succeed? That one is something that I don't know if people actually like to think about it or not. It becomes a very gray area to even discuss. Yet, whether or not we intentionally do so. To seek our own success, we do, in one way or another, sacrifice others. At least that's what I have believed up to this point. Quite the claim, right? I don't know. That might be more common knowledge than I think, but something a bit taboo to even, I guess, say out in the open like that. Huh. But is a sacrifice necessarily a bad thing either? Can be. We throw someone under the bus and we rake in the glory that comes out of it for the betterment of ourselves. That happens. Maybe we find that interests don't align anymore with someone that we know. And we sacrifice them from our life by parting, by moving on. Not taking them with you. Is that a bad thing? I can't just say yeah, or sorry, no to that. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. You have to do what's best for you. However, by removing the aspects of others, we'll get to that in a sec. Is that an RGB rock? It sure is. I actually meant to ask earlier, Gamby, have you played this game before, or have you just watched it a little bit? Surprisingly, it's pretty relaxing. We'll take a quick mental break from the actual, like... Yeah, that is an RGB rock. Either, if you have the time, and if you have, yeah, if you primarily have the time and the desire to, like, watch TV or something in the background... I sound fucking 50 saying that. If you have to watch something in the background while playing this, would recommend. It's pretty fun. But the RGB rock, it only appears... Sorry, this is going to be a spoiler. It only appears once you beat the game once. Your W key broke? How the hell did your W key break? What? Okay, this one I need to actually ask. Is it the cap itself that's broken, or is it the full mechanism to press into the keyboard? What? You okay, Gamby? Okay. The cap? Oh, okay. That doesn't feel as bad. Hopefully, I don't know if you can just replace it with another cap then, or just order a new cap. Still sucks though. Time without your keyboard and just having to spend money on that effort, but not too bad. I wonder if you can play this game. Let me look at the Steam page for a sec. I'm not trying to be like, yeah, you need to play this because no more excuses, young cat person, but I don't know if you can play it with a controller. I'll let you explore that further though. You're playing Rivals? Enough said. No further context needed. You're playing Rivals for a collab and suddenly my W key was sliding away. Huh? The cap? Like it. Hold on. Maybe I'm the stupid one here. The cap? You mean the piece that comes off, and you can still press on the button to activate the W key, right? Just the cap alone. That cap. I feel like if it slides off like that, the piece got damaged. Yes. Okay. Oh. Okay. Going crazy. Oh, if it's not evident from what I've been talking about. Are you you got the little plus you can press? Okay, mechanical keyboard. Assuming. Okay, that's not too horrible. Maybe a little uncomfortable, but still maybe not as reactive as you'd like it, but still realistically, if there's a key on the keyboard you don't use, might as well switch it. It's not even about the game anymore. It's more so like, might as well use it for normal stuff, like more rivals. It's just one of those weird keyboards that every cap locks into individual place. You can't place anywhere else. I've never heard of a keyboard like that. It's like fictional. I'm gonna sell those. I'm gonna make zero money. It'd be so inconvenient. Yeah, I'll save my game. We're at this for an hour and a half already, based on game save. Spend $100 so we can make $6 back. That's why I call business. But yeah, that just goes for anyone here. Like, I know I'm talking about some really random shit, but just when I played this the first time, I think I was watching anime originally, and then I did a speedrun of it, in which I watched clips of Spider-Man. I don't know why I remember that, but it's about people finding out about Spider-Man's identity. Could move my caps. I was looking to order new caps, but apparently the phantom caps I use are not on sale anymore. I mean, like, it'd be if you could find some custom caps, because especially WASD, be a good excuse to do that. That'd be kind of cool. I've always wanted to get some keycaps. I think at one point I wanted Genshin keycaps, but don't know what I would choose. Because it wouldn't just be for like a few select keys, but it would be for the full keyboard. I still want something, and I might give it. There was one I was wanting to get, but I couldn't find any for Gumi. Like, oh, no waifu on keyboard. Why even type? That's a key. One more. Yeah. I would say F keys. Any F keys you don't use would be my safe bet. Especially if you use your what's that called? The sides, the numpad keys. You have that and you even use it. I use that all the time. As much as I would want to replace a key with that, It'd be torture. It would actually suck. Anyways, I forgot the I was feeling kind of bad because I kind of forgot the main topic we were discussing. Oh, sacrifice. That's what it was. I think I'm ready to move on from it though. Even though I didn't explain much of my presence on the essence of self-sacrifice. I could do that for others or do that to others. The basis I ended off was we all inherently do sacrifice others. It's not necessarily bad. Again, part of it that we may deem less morally wrong is being able to move on from people. You don't spend time with people. You don't interact with used to a lot in the past. Not just a natural progress of life. We gravitate towards new things. We gravitate towards new people. No relationship lasts permanently. It unfortunately has a negative connotation of death there, but that's also its own kind of discussion. Some relationships are eternal. That's just part of your own personal beliefs in afterlife, which not as fun to think about. Like, it's interesting. There's a lot of different possibilities on that, but they're just possibilities. Okay, in a sense, I would argue that is technically a way to sacrifice. Sometimes for the better for you both, actually. In the sense of being able to grow as a person. You need to move on from those which, I guess, don't benefit you. Can harm you, rather. Or just in a natural time of sense. Allow yourself to gravitate in your current time of life. Another thing as well, when we have families, if we get families, if we have priorities in life, we shift those towards those priorities. We sacrifice the time we have with others to focus on what matters most for us in that aspect of life. Which not everyone will agree with. Some people will not like. But at the end of the day, are you doing this for them? Or are you doing this for yourself? That's a good kind of range of self-sacrifice, or just sacrificing others. I don't know why I keep on saying self-sacrifice. Some of it can be a sacrifice to yourself when it's especially more than difficult to get rid of someone. Some of them can be very, very emotional. For yourself to get rid of. Especially when you know that it's probably the best course of action. And I guess it's not directly a way to tie into the topic of logic versus emotion, but it kind of teeters on that a little. Being able to make the right decision for yourself in the long run. Determining whether or not it will benefit you. It will harm you. It will do nothing for you. Unfortunately, some things are just in and not. Things are meaningless. it will still try to do them because could be something better. It might be something that helps us. There's no way to predict the future, but the risk is a necessity in some scenarios. Of course, necessity might be a strong term there. There's some things we just have to risk for a better sense of life, better sense of prosperity, better opportunity to succeed. That in itself can have a different moral impact compared to the opposite, in which purposely push someone down, take their position, take their opportunity away from them. Essentially just screwing them over. Once again, let's go back to the example of robbing a store. Moral dilemma there is based on the impact of the motivation rob and primarily just the motivation to rob. Is it justified? Is it not justified? Why? You go to the presence of, again, an example is someone's starving, someone's hungry, they're gonna try to steal food so they can eat. But you also have people that do that. They just steal whatever they want. Maybe it's a thrill. Maybe it's just to get free money. What people would consider to be a dishonest way of work. I don't even want to use the term work with that. It's a dishonest way of achieving monetary funds or material possessions. So that is sacrificing someone else for your own gain. Which then becomes a lot less morally accepted. Especially if other people have to put in honest work or honest effort to achieve what they want. Welcome in, Beth. How's it going? Let me finish my thought first. Yeah, especially when someone else has to put in the effort to achieve what they want and they essentially get screwed over. They lose something significant because of someone else's selfishness. Someone else sacrificing the other. You are very affectionate, Beth. Holy. Heading home from work, so it's wonderful? Hell yeah. Nice. Always a good feeling getting off work and knowing that you got the rest of the night to yourself. Yeah, let's got it. I don't know if you want to be here though, Beth, because I'm talking about serious shit today. Like I'm broken down that wall. Might not be fun. Even though I'm having fun. So excited to go home and go the fuck to bed? Lamau? It'd be like that. Especially, what's today? Wednesday? From Monday to Friday? Doing that on a Wednesday? Halfway point. Very reasonable. Naps just hit so great sometimes. Going back to the topic of self-sacrifice and sacrificing others. It's so much easier to construct the outer two layers concerning the middle portion. The gray area of sacrifice. Does one exist? Here for whatever I feel like talking about. Oh, not that kind of seriously silly. No, these are just things I think about for fun. Which is kind of weird to say the word fun there, but I just find it very interesting. Nah. Nothing serious about me. It's just another side of me I don't usually show. I wanted to try out. I always hate that too. I will admit, if you try to say something serious or more serious to the outer public, people start to think there's something wrong with you. There's something like if you're not used to doing this, by the way, there's something wrong with you. There's something that's going on. There's like a red flag there. It's like, to check up on something. Need to really figure out what's going on with that. It's reasonable. I understand the reason for it. I've been on the receiving end of that when something was wrong with me in the past. So, completely understandable. It's too easy, though, to consider that as the only possibility. Well, I won't even say the only possibility, but the immediate possibility. However, questioning whether or not that is something to be challenged, because it can benefit someone that does need to talk, makes it hard to determine whether or not we're doing that kind of action. If that makes sense. Alright, bet. I just love this kind of stuff, merely for the opportunity to freely think, or to expand your own mindset. It's so easy to get fixated on a central point, even when other viewpoints or just being able to freely think, even if it's something you disagree with. Some things I will say, even I hate to talk about, and I have a strong stance on. I wonder how common that is, though. I would say fairly common, but there are people that can stay impartial in their reasoning. And that's one benefit. I remember from English classes when we used to do papers, research papers. They always advise you, well, not even advise, when it's a persuasive essay, must grab the perspective of the opposing side from what you're trying to argue. And you usually use that to then argue for your own self by taking their points, yet arguing why what you're favoring is official. Yeah, I still like that it makes you look at the opposite side of things. I think that is amazing that they try to enforce that. You know that dirt is surprisingly stable, right? I've been clawing at this one for hours, and it just doesn't want to move. And funny enough, it's depleting my energy. Oh, if you haven't played the game before, this is explained at the beginning. If you run out of energy, you die. Because you explode. Because this shovel explodes. So, don't run out of energy. Yeah. As much as I hate that initial assumption of just thinking that something's like wrong with this person, it's also reasonable to do that myself to someone. You seem off today. Something good? All right. So it kind of stables on that emotional stability. Been there, both sides of it. Gotta do what you gotta do. I have learned, though, this is something that's kind of awkward to say out loud, but I do get temptations sometimes to do a stream. Just talk about serious shit when I'm not in the proper mindset. just to kind of like ramble about random stuff, but I feel like that's just not beneficial. Of course, not for you guys, but also not for myself. I've wanted to in the past, but never found it to be worth. Today is a safe day to do so, because mentally, or at least emotionally, I'm neutral. I got nothing going on. This is more so out of pure interest than anything else. But there are just different sides of the community that like that kind of stuff. There are people that like to actively want that. I don't personally understand it myself, though. This is interesting to see how people into work, how they try to rationalize things, how they try to get out there and try things, or like not even just try, but just present themselves in that manner, be themselves in that way. Especially since it's kind of, I mean, I don't know to what extent I said this earlier. We have a mask that we put on. It may be a very thin mask. It may be a very thick mask. Maybe just be purely acting for you. I see that as a streamer. I see that to fellow streamers. Some of it's just an act. Some of it we choose to hide some aspects of ourselves. Maybe a lot of aspects of ourselves. And that's for anonymity as a portion of it, but also it's kind of the aspect that there's a hidden motivation to be entertained, or to be a show that incentivizes people to come back. What crazy thing is this person going to do when you come back? Watch and find out. Yep. When they're by themselves, nothing goes on in their life. They're pretty much plain Janes. They'll embellish themselves online as well. As streamers, have our own motivations to do so. Some people don't care to do that either. They'll stick to themselves as much as they can, but try to keep it as a reasonable pace. Then people will fully try to express every single aspect of themselves. It's very intriguing how willing people are to be different. At least to be different from what they normally are. Just try to, again, just put up that shield. That's a small mask. I'm not going to say that's a wrong thing to do. I will never say that's the wrong thing to do. Because at the end of the day, as a viewer, whatever interests me, I will stick around for. That's not my only motivation for watching people or not watching people. But it is definitely a motivation. Huh. So, I don't know what point I was going to make with that, and I forgot where the derivation of topic came, that subtopic. Oh, yeah. Being able to hide part of yourself. Is it a bad thing to do? Is it a good thing to do? Is it positive? Is it the matter at the end of the day? I guess that just kind of goes down to boundaries. What are you willing to reveal about yourself? What are you willing to reveal? Like, what are you willing to be exposed to the general public? Why? You care, let's say, for example, what people think of about your name? Do you care if they know or not? Do you care if you know where you live? Do you care? Pretty straightforward questions there. Do you care if they know what kind of person you are? What your personality is? What your likes, dislikes are? What you deepest, darkest secrets are? Why do you want people to know that? Do you care? I did say at the beginning, I do present myself as an optimistic person. Not necessarily to a full extent, but I like to keep a positive outlook on things. In real life, though, not really that optimistic. I am more so pessimistic. I like to say the word realistic, but even that can be drawn on the pessimist. Why do I present myself that way? I like to be more optimistic. I think it's more fun. I think, especially if it can help influence others' thought processes, or then I like that. I like it when people are, and this goes along with the people pleasing thing, but also this is just a part of who actually a part of who I am, but I like it when people can enjoy their time, when they can make the most out of it, and getting into their own head and not being able to enjoy that time. It happens when we don't want it to happen. It just happens in the most unfortunate times, circumstances, maybe just normally, and it's like, why does it have to be like that? That's why I like to do that optimism. It's more fun for me as well, telling someone to keep on trying their best and watching them succeed. Even if they fail, they still try their best. They put in effort. I get really agitated if someone keeps on telling me they can't do it and they're not willing to, because they said they can't do it. It's one thing that pisses me. You've already given up. You haven't tried, and you're not willing to try. Why are you wasting my time then? By telling me that you can't do it over and over again. Honestly, that is the one thing. Are you trying to be realistic with me and say that you're not willing to do any of this? Or are you trying to set yourself and just say it's not possible? You've already seen what might happen out of it, or the possibilities of it. What's out of it? Stupid. Frankly, stupid. For those kind of people, this is where I'm a bit more close-minded. They want to be recognized. They want to be acknowledged as people that can't do their best, that will fail. Almost as if they want that to be the personality point. I hate to tell you, I have given up on becoming taller. God damn it, Gamby. Don't try. That was pretty funny, though. I will admit, that was. So, that's an obvious point. I'll bring it up. Things you can't control are things you should not combat. Unless you want to have a difficult life, unless you want to make things more difficult for you. In that case, have fun with that. Don't involve me with it. Gamby, for you, I'm gonna, I think we can get you some stilts. Would you like some stilts? Maybe some, I don't know if you wear heels or not. I don't know that enough, but I always wanted to try heels. But the Sigma on men wearing heels in this day and age, I'm still gonna do it anyways, because fuck society. On occasions, but you mostly wear flats. Here you go, Gamby. Put heels on your flats, but make it so that it still feels like flats and you won't lose your balance. So what if we got you shoes? Okay, this is stupid shit. Not like serious. What if we got you shoes that maintained balance and was easy to step in? That way you wouldn't catch yourself while trying to place your foot. Will make you taller. Maybe? Or we'll scientifically engineer you to be taller. I actually did find that pretty humor. Like my platform shoes? Exactly. Exactly. Welcome in, Acid. How many waifu pillows am I hiding under the cover? One. But her tits are exposed, so I'm not going to show it. How you doing, Acid? Today's serious talk, so enjoy that. Actually, I think you would like serious talk, Acid. I heard someone's personal rule once that if someone can't fix whatever you see as a problem within 10 seconds of you telling them, you don't need to comment on it. I like that rule. The only time I ignore it is when someone starts being petty, insults someone. I match that energy, Lamau. And then followed by, bro, do you all remember moon shoes? Which I do. I never got them. They look so fun. I'm glad I didn't get them because they're not. Now I said I know you're one of the people that would ask. Yes, I'm fine. Yes, I'm sturdy in the mind. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now, actually. I got a call back from the place I interviewed, and they want a second interview. Anyways, going back to that point, Beth, I'm gonna actually potentially disagree with this for my own personal. Oh, is this about someone being able to fix someone else's problem or fixing your own problem? Because if someone can't fix whatever you see as a problem within 10 seconds of you telling them, you don't need to comment on it, aka someone fixing your problem. And the implication of burdening others by introducing one of your own problems to them. But you ignore it when someone's being petty and insults someone. Yeah, that's fair enough. If they're doing it on purpose or if they're being assholes about it, then fuck them. They deserve what they're getting. Golden rule. But yeah, I don't like the 10 seconds. Because I like to think of it instead. What are you willing to commit? What are you willing to fix with them? Because sometimes, especially if it's a relationship you're familiar with, close friends, someone you're dating, family, that you admire. Are you only willing to spend 10 seconds on them? Or are you willing to put more effort for them? If it's a random stranger asking for that for 10 seconds, that's its own kind of dilemma. Is it wrong to want to give more time and effort to people that are closer to you? In what way can you do that? I actually like the notion that you've brought up. A very interesting thing to think. Because it depends on the person. Depends on the closeness of the person. What you're willing to give them. And what you're willing to do, hopefully without sacrificing yourself. Like it. Like it. I said platform shoes, and I thought of moon shoes. That was Gamby. Gamby said the platform. Check what I see now. Platform shoes sound cool. Cool. You're welcome, man. Yeah. See how the next interview goes, though. Got this weekend to study for it. Fixing their own problems, such as you telling them they're short or fat or don't like their clothes. Height might be fixable to a point where if you slouch a lot, that's something over time. Fat, I will say something controversial a lot that people won't like. I'm saying that as a fat person myself. You can't fix fat, but in certain circumstances you cannot. But people know that already. They just don't like to hear it. Kind of people, I don't know. I don't care. And then they don't like their clothes. No problem. You wear whatever you want to wear as long as it's decent for the public. They go wild with it. But yeah, everyone will have a unique opinion. It might overlap with other people's opinions. It's still unique to you. Yeah, fixing their own problem though. I feel like by that point, if they put a problem that they want your help, that makes more sense to have you try to help them. But if they're just merely listing a problem in which they're just complaining about something, one part of my personality, I'll still try to help them. I don't know why. I'll be like, have you tried this? Actually, no, I do. Why? I don't want to hear them bitch about it. They're just looking to bitch about it for like multiple times. If they only do it once, okay, my condolences. I don't know what else I can do. So we can try distracting you or something, but if they try to put something after that and just on repeating it over and over again, I don't give a fuck. You're just doing this to yourself by this. Or rather, you just keep on... I see what you mean now, though. Kind of getting into that mindset. Why care about someone else's problems if they're not going to do anything about it? Which then gives me a separate dilemma. What if there's nothing they can do about it? It's something that harmed them. I'm challenging my own statements now. Like, if you're close to someone and you want to help them with something, that's a whole other decision. Now that I'm thinking about it, it may have been something they tell their kids so they don't just insult. Well, you can fix those things depending on the situation. They're probably already aware of it and you would just be throwing an insecurity in their face. So much I want to argue against that. On the basis of certain, like, not you specifically, but just kind of like the ideas, especially insecurities. Insecurities are very hard to deal with. Especially if you're engulfed or wrapped in your insecurities. On per basis, of course, but some people can indulge their full insecurities into their... Don't get how? I don't get how. But that's actually very interesting. I'm going to dissect that. But yeah, tell that to your kids so that they don't insult others, I think is... There's ways you can kind of go about that. Huh. Yeah, that's an interesting aspect, actually. I don't have anything to say about that. Oh, you can fix those things depending on the situation. They're probably already aware of it, and you would just throw an insecurity at their face. If they're expressing their insecurity by blatantly, like, I'm gonna tie it into the specific example. But if they tie an insecurity into a repetitive action, especially exposing their insecurity to others, if you just confirm it and they get upset at that, that's on them. They're willing to say, hey, I'm fat. And if they have the possibility that they can change it, aka they have the ability to be able to change it, do nothing about it, instead just keep on. At that point, they deserve, well, I can't even use the word deserve. I would personally, as an asshole, say they deserve to get it thrown back at their face. That's what they're doing to themselves. Maybe they're trying to hear it from others, and that will be the motivation for them. But if it works, it works. But at that point, why even express it over and over again? Generalizing it, though, let's take a step back. It's hard. Like, the thing I think of right now is intention. Are you trying to throw it back in their face for them to be more aware of it? Are you trying to throw it just because that's what they said and you're just confirming it? Are you trying to push it back onto them so that they can be upset about it? What is your intention for saying it back? So it kind of makes me think of that immediately. And I will admit, my social cues, my EQ is not strong, I believe. Never been formally tested. I don't even know if that's something you can formally test. But... and that's a funny discussion of its own. I don't know if I'm the one that has the problem or not. More than likely, yeah. But I just feel like emotional and situational awareness and intelligence on acts amongst others so skewed. I don't know how many people can successfully do it. They just make do with what they can do. But sometimes, and this is one I hate, it's innocent on both sides. They just say something, they don't realize that they're sharing their insecurities, they don't realize that they are speaking against someone's insecurities. So on both sides. Upsets them. Honest mistake. Mostly unintentional on either side, right? I feel like intention is a strong presence there as well. What is someone's intention to do that? What is their reason? You can be as dead as you want. I did warn you, this is how I'm gonna be today. Be all serious. Attack it from every single side. We don't take one, we don't take just one specific viewpoint. Question everything. I feel stupid doing it sometimes because some things are very basic and elementary level. Still question everything. What I love about philosophy. I should say I feel stupid, but I should be saying I don't feel ashamed of asking some of these questions. I do. But sometimes that shame needs to be present. So you can still ask the question. You feel embarrassed. You feel... Now I'm a broken record saying that. I've said that so many times. It shouldn't be said every single time. I say it every time. Be a problem I need to fix. I just realized though, really need to pee. Once we finish this up, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go pee. Then I'm gonna come back, go check my Discord, and we'll continue in the hole while talking about very random shit. Very random serious shit. I feel like this can also tie into sacrificing others. It's loose though, so don't take it at a straightforward value. But sacrificing others' times, commitment towards you. Really? Right there. One more time, we go up. I'm gonna be silly for a quick sec. Serious. Tying back into the sacrificing. Being able to sacrifice someone else's efforts or time to benefit you. When is it? What? Had to go try on a dress by have return? Oh, welcome back. How'd the dress go? Yeah, sharing problems, sharing your own securities, sharing that are problems in your own life you want to express to others for what reason can vary. You're taking someone's time and effort. And this also goes back to what kind of relationship you have with other people. Do you have a close enough relationship you want to talk to someone about this that adheres to your own boundaries? You have... Is this just some random stranger on the street you're sharing your life story to so you can get something out of them? Why are you telling someone this? Didn't like it? Ah. Happens to the best of us. Gonna stick with another one I have found for the upcoming baby showers. Ooh. What kind of dress is it? Yeah. Actually, this is my pause moment. We'll finish the quick topic, but the process of it is, are you willing to allow them to take up your time and effort? And if it's something that's generally quicker, something that's more worthwhile because they have a closer connection, someone that you do relative to you in some manner, then it makes sense to want to take time to competitive if it's something that can be overcome through effort rather than just merely discussing it all the time. It's feels hopeless. It's something that's not relative to you. Why bother with it? And I don't say any of this towards anyone specifically. The general experience I've had throughout my full. Take anything personally. We all have our faults. You know, at least some of your guys' faults. I accept them. Take things personally. Powering kind of tight, which I didn't like, came to knees, which I did like, kind of sundress-esque. Ah, sundress is pretty nice. Especially with like a flower hat or something. That'd be pretty nifty. Anyways, a BRB. Tap out that. And yeah, I'm gonna go relieve my bladder. I can sit down and not have to worry about peeing or peeing. Back, I have successfully peed without peeing myself. Let's say I was gonna check Discord. Ah, okay. Not sure who joined the Discord. I don't recognize the name, but welcome on in. I was like looking up, I was like, is that one art person here? I think it might be. But Okay, I can't tell because I don't have timestamp. I'll just move on. I didn't realize what time it is, and I might wrap things up soon because I want to eat. I was hoping to, the goal, believe it or not, was to try to get all the dirt cleared. That is a fruitful... We're gonna have to go really far down. Really far. So I'll see if I can beat the gate. And then we go from there. Back up. So, we ended on self-sacrifice. Sacrificing others. I'm probably going to tie in the discussion of it in one way or another. For now, let's move on to something else. That's kind of strange to me because of the uniqueness of how it's been presented is the concept of relationships. And I'm not talking about like dating or anything, but just the I don't know if you could see my just the notion of how relationships work amongst unique people. Not be a space for me to talk about my prior experiences, how I feel about them. In terms of like, I hated this one person, I love this one person, etc. Even for my own morals, that's not worth doing. But the generality of how people differ from one another, how everyone has their own unique boundaries, compares that to others, and how they use those boundaries with others. To extension, you're able to present yourself as a person to them, and how they do the same to you. I start off with a question. Is there a such thing as an equal relationship? Weird question, right? When you get married to someone, that's an equal relationship. When you prioritize someone the same way they prioritize you, likely at the top of the list in that scenario. Well, for that scenario in this case, then I think so, right? Thought there was, but no, I don't know, Lamau. Exactly. Even in those scenarios, I would say no. I would actually argue no. But then again, that could just be a per basis scenario. It's very unique to the person, so I'd rather generalize and focus on that than go through every but knowing myself, I will go through every single scenario I can. At least to an extent. Anyways. How do we perceive relationships with others? I'm streaming to you guys. Some of you guys might be fans of me. Some of you guys just know me and like to be around me at times. I'm not going to question that notion, but on it. So it could vary on that aspect, right? I'm just a streamer. You're a viewer. What is that relationship? Probably know more about me than I know about you. Might prioritize me more than I prioritize you. And is there anything wrong with that? Of course. You guys choose to be here. To me, guys, I don't know you, but there's always an opportunity to change that, of course. Not saying here's going to be the place to do it, but it's just the basis of interest. I might have a slight priority on that, where priority might not be reciprocated, is kind of the aspect. And I say that can be reasonable for a lot of people you meet in this platform. You won't know them. He may not know you. You might get to learn them over time as a streamer, as I've done with quite a few of you guys. And that itself is its own basis. Got whacked in the face yesterday with the fact that I'm pretty sure I care more about everyone I consider to be a friend than they care about me. That is something that can come up. I was gonna focus on the same point, but a thought did come up to me as well. Is there anything wrong with that, Beth? I'm gonna say yes and no to that. On the perspective I would have. Things may not feel reciprocated. But does love have to be reciprocated? Reciprocated. Why would love have to be reciprocated? As a follow-up question. Everything I ask after is just a follow-up, but the main question is still the standalone question. But when I think of that process, it's like, why do things have to be reciprocated? Why do things have to be matched? Why do they have to be given back? If we give to someone else, are they expected to give us back? Do we have to give back to someone else that gives something to us? Why? Is love meant to be shared? And if so, does that mean that both sides have to love? It's an interesting series of questions. Because being able to match with someone else on their aspect of relationship with them may be uneven. And a lot of times can be uneven, given the priority that someone has to you compared to their priority of you. So the priority you give to them rather than their priority for you. This one I feel is a bit difficult for me to talk about, given I don't understand the full aspect of prioritization in relationships. I don't think I will. And I've accepted that. I question too much with it. It goes to my basis that if you want to spend time with someone, you're going to put in the effort to spend time with them. You're going to put in the effort to go out of your way to give them time. I strictly believed in that myself. Quite a while, actually. For a long portion of my life. But that doesn't match prioritization. Prioritization doesn't have to be because of time. Rather, even if you're not the most prioritized thing in someone's life, they may prioritize you the most as a person, but they have other priorities beyond that. Their activities, their work, shit in life. Does that also mean that they're not reciprocating? Does that mean that they're not able to reciprocate what you want? Hard aspect of life for me was the ability to set expectations on others. We share love with them, we share time with them, we share effort with them. Of course, they're gonna have to, I expect them to do whatever I want, right? To be able to match and give me everything I need. And that's quite far away from the truth. That is, first of all, unrealistic. And second of all, it's a really poor way of going about it. Once you set an expectation on someone, it changes your aspect and outlook on them. Is it a bad thing to set expectations on people? Depends. If you want the bare minimum, hey, don't stab me with a knife while I'm looking away. That's a fair expectation. You don't want people to harm you. You don't want people to do you, especially unprovoked or with no good reason, right? just the whole compromise of what you're able to do for someone also comes into play. Is it meaningful to someone to say, I don't have time, but whatever time I have, I give it to you? And is it even more meaningful if they say they do that for their own satisfaction, for their own reasoning? Not for your sake, but their sake? It could still be for your sake in one way or another, but they're the one benefiting from that. From giving you their time. They want to give you your time. It's hard to really choose if they are or not, right? Especially if you only have a set amount that you're able to spend on yourself or able to prioritize yourself. Might be an extreme example there, but just the idea of being able to prioritize others while trying to do things, it can be overwhelming sometimes. Sometimes you just got nothing to do. You don't really have many things, so you invest in other people. It means you prioritize time with people. And people just might be into these. They may have a friend group of their own that they focus on. They may have a family that they have to spend time on and try to prioritize themselves. So, TLDR it, priorities will vary, but time aspects may not be the best indicator of priority. I'm still learning that lesson to this day. If I see someone wants to commit more time to other people, I just accept it, and I just say, especially if I put in my effort to do so, can't do much with it, then I should just leave it where it's at. Move on. Find other people I can prioritize more they can receive. It's not wrong. And this is the essence of love towards one another. I don't believe it's wrong to love someone else that can't reciprocate that. This isn't love supposed to be unconditional? Isn't the beauty of love that you can love someone else regardless of how they feel about you? Now, if it's unreciprocated, that sucks. That's its own thing, right? But just in the essence of just unconditional love, that can be quite the beautiful thing. So, kind of deviated from the direction I wanted to go with that. But that's okay. We'll try to work with it. Know this. No one truly owes you for their time and effort. Especially if you choose to give them that time and effort on your own. Okay. If they would like to reciprocate, I think that'd be pretty awesome. Shows that they have meaning towards what you've done for them. They want to be able to return it in some aspect or another, or at least give you the opportunity. Leave their time and effort. I think that's pretty cool. But do they have to? No. They do not have to at all. Now, if you promise something to each other, like let's say you're doing a trade where they owe you something for their time, service, that's a different story. That's why you hire people. They do work for you, you pay them. It is the nature of employment. Goods and services. My brain is lying together, giving and caring without reciprocation and balancing it with not being so understanding and giving that you sacrifice your own well-being. Yep. And that's part of the, it's part of, what was the term again? I said it earlier and I forgot. Just, trying to please others without doing anything for yourself. Putting others before yourself. People pleasing. There we go. If you're a people pleasing kind of person, it just becomes worse. It becomes, I did say we might go back into it, and we are. Part of sacrificing your own self for the betterment of others. What do you get out of it? Right? What do you truly get out of it? So, just on the aspect of reciprocation and relationships, where can I go from that? Actually, let me think for a second. Continue thinking. This conversation's gone deep, just like this whole... But we can make it go deep. Yes, I will say, haha, sexual pun there. Alright, moving on. One thing I will not understand about relationships, if you don't put expectations on others, that's great. But if you don't meet their expectations yourself, doesn't that mean that they put some sort of expectation on you? And I guess I didn't finish my thought from earlier. Having the bare minimum necessity of a person, especially if you're trying to form a likable relationship with someone, such as a friendship, you don't want them to betray you. You don't want them to do wrong unto you. But exceeding those kinds of expectations is a dangerous zone. Again, put time and effort into someone. Are you expecting them to put time and effort into you? So, why? Why would you expect that from them? I've had to and still have to teach myself that I can understand why someone did something. That doesn't make it more acceptable and doesn't mean I have to forgive it or let it go immediately. Because that, just as they are their own person, you are your own person. You don't have to accept their lack of reciprocity. And that's why we just keep on searching. We keep on trying to find people that can match that. Or at least be able to better accept us. And I'll give an example, and one that I find quite ironic. I used to be the kind of person who would always have to reach out to others to initiate something. I would always be the person to initiate and just always message first, call them first, put them in my life first, or they did the same to me. Also, if there's a chance you're still here, Gamby, we have hit the lava. I don't remember why I remember Gamby asking that, but I do know. So that's how I used to be. Nowadays, it feels like I'm the opposite. And okay, yeah, I bother you all the time. Exactly. Which I'll initiate sometimes first myself. Typically, people reach out to me first. I'm not saying it happens often. Hell, the frequency of it doesn't feel that big. And I sometimes feel guilt because I don't reach out to people, or at least first. One of the things I've had to teach myself is some people just don't work with reaching out to others. People handle it or get overwhelmed so easily. They're just incapable of doing it. No, I'm the same way. I typically like to throw in jokes when I than just stick with business all the time because I am quite a serious person, believe it or not. My true personality, I'm serious. I'm a very serious person. That's not a fun way to live, though. That's why I like to throw in jokes. That's why I like to things lighter than they should be. Go insane. You become optimally, or I was gonna say optimally pessimistic. That is far from the truth. You become overly to where it's just doesn't feel good at all. Believe it? Okay. I figure people know me enough to see that in me. I hate being serious, but I am serious. I accept it as part of myself, which I do love. A love-hate relationship. But yeah, nowadays I rarely am the first one to initiate contact. Sometimes I will, especially in the things I prioritize. But I'm more reliant on others these days to do it. They don't message me, then I don't put much effort into it. And part of that stems from just maybe trauma of not having reciprocity, but then also misunderstanding that people enjoy your company, but can't initiate that company. There are people like that. It truly infuriates me. That's just how they are, though. And they'll think they're the ones that don't feel worth being talked to because they never reach out. Have I stopped talking to people because I wanted to experience that myself? No. I've had motivations for doing so. I'm not going to share here. But I have learned. That everyone has their own criteria, their own aspect or approach to being able to interact with others, to being able to manage everything together. Welcome in, How's it going, Asuna? Alright, enough. I can talk about this one. Yeah, today's a serious stream. I'm talking about actually serious stuff. You have a slight realization? Don't take it personally. And that's one thing I need to stress. Don't take it personally. That's the one thing I can't... Oh, I'll say a bit about it, but it's hard not to take things personally. But I hate it when people take it personally at the same time. It's kind of unfair. So I try to give the benefit of the doubt, or try to give that. And so I have to. You know, okay. Here's the reason. Austin, I can kiss you right now. Being dead serious. That's fucking awesome. Gumi is my waifu. This is Gumi. She is a Vocaloid, an official Vocaloid. The most popular Vocaloid of her company, which was originally a competitor to Krypton Media, Hatsune Miku and those guys. I am so excited for you though. I am happy. But anyways, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, yeah. There's a song someone made with Gumi and holy fuck it speaks. Can you send it to me, Asuna? I'm curious. Or the name of the song. I want to hear. I want to see which one. Anyways, if you don't talk in generalizations, well, it's still not going to prevent it. But Jesus fucking Christ, people will take things so personally. They think it's specifically directed at them. They think that you're talking about them exactly. Sometimes that might be the case with some people how they do things, but everyone, not everyone, but if people take it personally every single time, if they expect it to be personal to them, and I will make this slightly personal, not to anyone specific, but I've had people who do that. I've had people who immediately think, yeah, this is me. This is my fucking self. How dare he talk about me like that in front of everyone? Yeah, no, everyone does it to an extent. Not just fucking you. So that's why I say I have to generalize it. Otherwise, people are going to take it too personal. They'll get upset with it. They'll just think that I'm the devil or I'm a fucking piece of shit. If the shoe fits, all right, they can come to that own realization. They can self-project, help with someone else. Their problem, not mine. That's why I have to generalize it a lot more. One, I don't want to attack anyone. I have no benefit of attacking. If I'm pissed off at a certain group, I'd be pissed off at them. But I have no reason to attack them. It's a void. Okay, what song is this? I've not heard this song before. It reminds me of another song, which is actually a depressing song. But I wish that I could fall is the name of that song. Interesting, by Jamie P. I haven't heard that composer's name before. I do love though. So going back to Gumi, the Vocaloid. One of her strongest assets, especially in the earlier days, like let's say 10 years ago, her English voice bank was a lot better than Hatsune Miku's. Which I know is subjective, but yeah, I think it was a lot better. You started listening to them and you really love their music and production. Asuna, I will send you some old classics that I love. Because she has some really good songs. The song King by Canaria, that was her cover. That was her original cover. At least that was the one that got popularized before all the human covers started. To be fair, most people would just would talk about people like that. You're just different and I'm aware of it, Lamau. Am I different though? I say that out loud, yet there's still a potential that I can do that a lot more than anticipate myself. But sorry, I'm just challenging the notion. I think you're right, but there's always a possibility that I do it more than I myself to believe. Off coffee coworker that pissed me off the other day did that. Oh, were they like calling you out for something without mentioning your name? I will admit I've done that to people before. I don't know how recent I can go with that. So I have made that mistake before. I don't like it. I'd rather not do it. Especially if I can control myself doing that. Yeah, no reason to. I have my fair share of enemies. I have people I hate. But like, not too uncommon for that. But, just who I am. You guys don't need to know who I hate, who are my enemies. No reason to. Some of you might, but no reason to. I got very focused on that. I needed to I needed to focus on that talk. But I'll leave it at that. So yes, I generalize. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. I'm guilty of the things that I talk about. That's the big one right there. Especially because I've done it in the past. I still do it in the present when I try not to. I'd rather not to. It still happens. Maybe I'm none the wiser. Maybe I'm conscious of it. I don't know. Well, of course, if I'm conscious of it, I do know, but we do things sometimes we don't even realize we do until someone else calls it out. I might get pissed at them and say, why the fuck would you say that? But sometimes you need to hear it. Man, that person's so rude for calling them out like that. I've been called out for some of the weirdest stuff I didn't think was a problem, but apparently was a problem. I offered her help and she looked at me in the eyes and said, I'm still holding out hope that I'll get to sit down sometime. Ah, okay. I'm not going to get personal with this one, so I'm not going to read that fully, but I see what you mean. Even though I'm saying this shit out loud, this ain't a place for you guys to rant about specific people. I'm not going to tolerate it. But I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt that myself before. Again, plenty of times. Feel better? Alright, don't do it again, Beth, or I'll time you out or something. Yes, I am evil like that. Welcome. Anyways, what's my next topic? It's still on relationships. And why I personally don't understand them to the full extent. The subtopic would be kind of like sets of expectations while not perceiving expectations directly onto someone. But the uniqueness of everyone, of different people. Sometimes you realize that you try to get close with them and they don't want you getting that close. Or you give yourself a comfortable distance from them and then you realize they wanted you closer. Both of them are upset with you. And the question is why? Okay. It's not fair to give an immediate answer to that because more context, right? That one feels a bit more personal to me in recent years, though it has happened in prior years as well. It's not as noticeable though. In certain... But what I do notice is like there are people still setting expectations on you that even they may not realize. Or sometimes they just know that they don't want to waste their time in certain circumstances. They're going to try themselves to whatever extent they want, whatever boundary they need, and then go from there. And it's more modern times. I feel like people are less forgiving. You make a mistake. This one I have shared without the serious talk and whatnot. The aspect of, I guess, today's generation. If you don't conform to my ideals, if you're off by one thing or you do something I don't like once, I can just throw you away and move on to someone else new. I'm not going to bother my time trying to get to know you, trying to push forward. I'm not trying to fix it, try to mend it. I don't care about you anymore. Goodbye. And the reason why I don't get that, I understand it partially. You don't know someone well, you haven't really gotten to know them. It's an early assessment of what problems could lie underneath. But that's also another aspect of the gamble. How much are you willing to gamble on someone when you don't know them versus someone that you know a lot more? But even for that aspect, when you don't know them enough, or when you know them a lot more, it feels like people are still willing to throw away in favor of just finding someone new or just spending time with other people they know. I wonder if that's more common or if it's just my experience with that. I feel like I gotten a bit too personal there, actually. I'm trying to generalize it, but without trying to overstep that accidental bound. Because again, about my experiences, you guys don't need to know about those. Yep, for some reason I'm tiptoeing that line when I should not be. Let me see if I can ask that, or if I can continue it in a better way. Maybe let's go with the aspect of... What do I even want to say here? The aspect of... For the Hydrate Lucid, how's it going, my dude? We're doing serious stuff today. That guy's in serious talks. Serious topics, I should say. I don't know how much I've deviated from philosophy, though. I feel like I've deviated quite a bit from philosophy. It's kind of the aspect of trying to think about things. Okay, the notion of maybe just the kind of going on what Beth was saying earlier, the aspect of being enough. I know that's not how you worded it, but kind of like that notion. I forgot the dino. Are you enough for someone? Are you too much for someone? How do you know? How will you know? And are you willing to work with that? Or are you just going to move on your own? And that doesn't really say everything. There could be underlying things as well, which are considered. Maybe not to you, but to them. Which communication helps, but how much you're willing to communicate will really change the outcome of it. So much lava. On the bright side, going back to the game for a sec, we did find best ore in the game. Now we just farm that and sell it. Oh, that was closer than I thought. You hurt yourself with dynamite? Yes. Yes, you can. I guess what makes sense about it, though, going back to the topic of like fragility of relationships in these days, it's a lot easier to meet. So it's reasonable that connections may not be as strong or long-lasting. Especially when you have a certain amount of people you can keep in your own bubble. I forgot what the number was. Combine that with the patience. I feel like generally people these days are a little less impatient on average. Oh, to the full extent. Nor am I able to really comprehend what I'm trying to say. I keep on getting stuck on my own words, because this one is a more fragile topic. But the aspect of human nature to want to be... I guess we can start with this. Why do people even want relationships at all? Do they even want the relationships, or is it something that they need? So why do we need it as humans? Oh. I guess that's something we'll ponder for now, because made it. Made it to the end. Is he a mole? Yes. Is he a murder mole? Maybe? I'd rather not find out. Yeah, we'll leave it on that kind of thought. And, yeah, hopefully not deviate from the whole aspect of the, philosophy on these things. What the moles eat? Maybe he's just hungry? Maybe. I'd rather not find out, though. Did it feel interesting? Being able to kind of explore the different possibilities of different thoughts. Think he's gonna eat me if I'm given the chance? Yeah, I agree too. That's why I'm hoping they don't see me. Remember, this house cost $10,000 originally. Yeah, it was fun to talk about the different things, outlooks of perspectives. I think I got too close-minded at the end. Or I was kind of pinching into that close-mindedness at the end. So... other than that, it was a very great experimentation. It was a very great chance to kind of perceive final outlook of nothing that we truly achieved. the bitter end. Let's discuss one more question. What do we truly get when we dig ourselves into a hole? Price is the most. Yeah. Hey, $10,000 to feed you some of the moles. What a game, am I right? Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. Like I said earlier, and I think I can confirm it now. I don't think I'm gonna do this again. Just a whole stream dedicated to real talk. I was like starting to think to myself, is this gonna be real talk for maybe kind of serious going on in my life? No, this is just general. Just general. I'll still talk about things as they come up. Just the pure essence of natural conversation. But I don't know. With a more positive outlook, I suppose. And applicable. The way I like to show you. Rather than a true self. Look at this aspect of me. Another, not today's aspect, but usual aspect. Did I seem too far off from what I usually am? Probably not. But still significantly different to me. Maybe not much to you guys, but I'll shut up now. Shut up. I'm gonna make some food, listen to the Scoomy song, and then I don't know what after that. Probably play some Marvel Rivals. Watch Spider-Man 3. I watched the other two Spider-Man the day before, yesterday and yesterday. You guys take care of yourselves. Next time we meet, it'll just be my usual persona. I can't. One thing that's actually, I'll bring this up. Real proud of myself. I repeat myself so many fucking times where it becomes unnecessary. I do that so much, and I still haven't figured out how to stop it. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Oh, the code stuff. I want to get back to Connect 4. I've had projects in the past I've failed, I haven't completed. Especially on stream, I don't complete them. Or just games, I just play them once and I'm like, yeah, never again. But I don't tell you guys. So like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I want to finish Connect 4 on stream. That's my dream. That's my current dream. So we'll work on that again. I haven't touched the boundary detection like that I would probably off stream. I haven't decided if I'll just continue that on stream from scratch or I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right.